So we have this film, Love at First Hiccup. Hiccup. Supposed to be the whole thing. Well, where to start? Because actually, I found this film on a related video from Kill Bill 2 deleted scene HD blah blah blah. I found there was this clip. It was about this boy who was asking for condoms, and he's one of the main, well, sort of like one of the characters in it. Um, and I thought, oh, this film looks bad. This looks really terrible. So let's start the bad season again. Um, so yeah, I've watched it, and it's bad. It's so bad. And I just think like it's not really a whole proper film because you have the whole thing about that he's sort of like a loser and a virgin, never done anything before. The girl wants to get with this girl he thinks really hot, and then she starts falling in love with him. And yeah, I do think there are things in it that are quite good, but I can't move from the fact this film sucks. I mean, yes, there are some quite good performances. The chemistry is quite nice. A few moments of laugh or something, but it's just boring and really predictable. You can see where it's going, and sort of pushes buttons and goes in places you wouldn't expect. And I found that a bit, oh my god, like, there's a scene where he can't get his condom on. So who's putting his condom on? Well, it's Anya. And then she's going under the sheets and then sticking it on his yes. And so yeah. But the problem I have with this film is it's so poor. I mean, it doesn't do anything that any sort of decent film would do. And the thing I also have to say, the most alarming thing of all things about this film is you have a minor talking about condoms and sexual fantasies, which I find absolutely just grotesque. And that's the only part of this film that makes me get really, really angry. I mean, you can say what you want. I mean, it's a bad film, but it doesn't make me as mad as Detention did, because Detention really annoyed me. But, I mean, you can see on the surface this film is bad, but I've seen many worse films, and the thing that it has going for it, like I say, is there's some quite good acting in it. There's some bits of good chemistry, and there's some bits in it that are fine. But it's also just predictable that in a way I just can't really connect with it. I can't sort of get together with it. And it's the story you've seen so many times, but it's just condensed into such a small space of time for it all to come together that it just feels a bit forced in a way. Like, I'm not saying the chemistry feels forced, just the whole thing of the movie that it just feels a little bit forced of, oh, he's going to meet this girl, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen. It's all really mechanical. It all comes together, and that's the biggest problem in a way, in terms of the structure and the way it comes together. But at the worst, like, biggest problem is the sexual stuff and the just inappropriate language that boy says. I mean, I know some people think it's hilarious, but I just think it's quite perverted and disgusting and just wrong, and I just don't really have a I just don't really have that sort of, oh yeah, that's fine kind of attitude to it. I just think it's just a bit sick. And I know it's supposed to be a comedy, but I just think that scene, when I saw that scene, I was like, I have to see this film. This film looks really terrible, but I just thought that was incredibly unfunny and just sick. Well, like I was saying, there are things to like about it. I mean, I really liked Octavia Spencer in it. Her part in the film was great, probably the best part of the entire film. Um, and there are things I say that are quite good about it, but it just falls really flat as a like romantic sort of comedy film. I'm not saying it's a rom-com, but it's like a it's that's the problem in the way we also have with it. It can't make up its mind if it's a romantic film or if it's a comedy film. And what makes romantic comedies or just romantic films so great in general is that they didn't have the sort of, sort of like they're just scared and they want to hide and they don't want to show the big picture and they don't want to Do you know what I mean? Like, there's something just really missing here that I just really liked about those other films I saw, and like Annie Hall or like Final Days of Summer or When Harry Met Sally. There's something there, and it's all like comes together, and it's a movie. This just feels like sort of an after-school special or something. It feels like, oh, let's just get this little bit here, let's get that bit here, let's get that bit here. I mean, I have no idea who the person is who put this film together, but I'm just saying that it doesn't follow the sort of film structure you see in films. It just follows sort of the structure of someone's own film, which doesn't really apply. And there were just things about it that I just thought were incredibly poor. They're just like his friends. I mean, who the hell are they? I mean, they don't seem like friends. Do people have that as friends? Seriously? I mean, it's just a bit like I don't understand. I just don't get it. No, 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 no. And the acting is atrocious. I mean, his acting is a hell of a lot better compared to them. And I just I just don't see that. Like I've never seen friends like that, the way they act and stuff. And it's just really alienating to me, just as a front point. And just I don't know, perhaps the thing is they were trying to show that he's trying to sort of aloof from his friends to get into the whole thing of being with that girl and then be on to her, but then I guess that would completely make sense because then he was already kind of into her anyway. So, but I don't know. Maybe they're trying to do that, but even if they do that, it still kind of falls flat anyway. Um, but I just feel that this film is sort of it's the kind of thing where it's great to have an idea and it's great to sort of come through and you want to make a film and I just I love that whole passion thing and everything. That's great, but it just seems like a project of love that's gone a bit too severe. Like it's gone too much love of some project that someone has, and I just feel like you watch the film and it just kind of falls flat, and then there's all this stuff going on, and there's characters, and then there's characters that get forgotten, and then people piss off, and see them again, and it doesn't really work. And you've all seen it before, and then you just don't think, why am I watching this? And the whole possibilities are endless of what you can think about this film. And I did get kind of confused of who the main lead playing the 15-year-old loser actor was. I mean, I thought he looked a bit like the guy from His Kind of Funny Story. I mean, he had the same sort of facial expressions and stuff, and did the smiling and the stuff, and I was just like, who is this? Is that him? And obviously I realized afterwards it wasn't him, but yeah. But anyway, that's pretty much everything I have to say. So it's not a good film, but I'm sort of saying it lightly because there are things in it that I liked, but it's not a good film, if that makes sense. So there you go.